What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we are going to jump right into today's Ion market. There has been a ton of stuff that's happened over the past week as the megatins start to fall out a little bit. Certain things get targeted, but the market was shaken up as a whole with the announcement of BlueEyes support and DDD support in Battle of Chaos, which, to the surprise of no one, has led to people chasing down BlueEyes cards and DDD cards, some of which are very scarce and or only have one print. So we've got a pretty lengthy one to go through today, and I'm going to try to rocket fire through them as much as possible to avoid the video being super long. With that being said, if you guys do enjoy this type of content, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos, and I will go ahead and jump right into it. So first up, we got BlueEyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. I've talked about this card before. A lot of people have mentioned this card being actually a really powerful option for BlueEyes, and with the new BlueEyes Fusion spell, I think it gets even better. It's only around $5 right now and was exclusively released in the 2019 Mega Tin as a promo, and you were not guaranteed to get it in every tin. So that means it's going to have some value and some demand. Right now there's about 80 listings total. I would say pick this up if you intend to play it, because I don't see a reprint immediately on the horizon unless they throw it in like maximum gold or something, which would definitely be cool. But I think a lot of people are going to like the original style, the borderless secret rare art, and it's pretty cheap right now considering the nature of BlueEyes cards as a whole and how they tend to age over time. This basically can pop opponent's cards, it can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and if you make it using the fusion spell that lets you summon from the deck, it basically gives you additional pops. So there's a lot of reasons to like this card and keep your eye on it, and I think for $5, if at any point you look at it as something you might be interested in playing, you're better off to grab it now. Bingo Machine Go, to the surprise of no one, probably the best individual piece of BlueEyes support. Basically, pick 3 cards from your deck that's either a BlueEyes monster or a spell or trap that lists BlueEyes. It's over $20 now with confirmed sales. There are a few listings around 20, 22, people trying to make some sales, which is nice. This has pretty much gone off the market, though, and even the Ultra Rare, which is actually right around the same price at 19, there's less than 30 listings combined between the two printings of the card, so you're going to want to pick these up at some point, I'm sure. But you're not going to be able to do it cheaply unless they do reprint this. It would be pretty cool to see this get like either a common in an OTS or even a rare in maximum gold. I don't know what the plan is, but it would definitely be a nice thing to see. BlueEyes Abyss Dragon from the same set, $27 with sold listings. There's around 20 copies left. This actually, when it is special summon, can add a ritual spell or polymerization from the deck to the hand, and does have some other interactions. It's not amazing, but I think being a BlueEyes card that was exclusive to this set, having some incredible artwork, and just being an import in general has given it some value, and it's not bad. Being able to search a ritual spell is pretty cool, especially with cards like Chaos Form being something BlueEyes decks can consider. I would say maybe wait on this a little bit and see if it drops out, but it's not like the quantities are high, so unless people decide to start throwing them up and really trying to make some sales, you might be forced to be paying a little bit more than had you purchased this around like 16, 17 bucks even a couple of months ago. BlueEyes Alternative White Dragon is $15 for the Secret Movie Pack Edition, and that's probably right around the same for everything else. Legendary Duelist Season 2, it's around $12, and ironically, we talked about this in the past, how like this card just doesn't seem to drop in price no matter how many times they reprint it. The Legendary Duelist Season 2 was an Ultra, it wasn't super hard to pull, and yet it is still over $10 now, so I would say, if you're interested in picking up a set, you can probably do so for right around $30. I don't know what the ratios will look like in the new BlueEyes builds, but I would imagine this would be played because it's really, really good. So that's your option. You also do have a Ghost Rare version from Ghosts from the Past, which I thought would be up. I guess I'm going to on the fly pull it up here and see what it's at. The Ghost Rare looks like it is around $250, so it hasn't really spiked, but there's not the most listings of it available, and obviously there are some quality control issues with the Ghost Rares, so if you want the mint and you're worried about whether or not you'll be able to get them, that's going to be something to shop around for. Sage with Eyes of Blue is a really good card. It synergizes extremely well with the new support, and is around $10 a copy for the Legendary Collection Kaiba Secret Rare. I believe there's also a Secret Rare from Battles of Legends Light's Revenge that is around the same, and there's also the OG Ultra from Shining Victories, as well as Ultras from Legendary Duelist Season 2, but those are not super cheap. They're aging pretty well, around $6 with support on the horizon. Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon was also in that, and the colored ones are selling less, the colored names, so blue, green, red, but they're still around $1, so if you're interested in picking this up, you can get copies pretty accessibly. It also has the Megatin print in which it was a super as a promo. That one's around $3. I think people just like that versus the different colored names, but you can still pick this up pretty affordably. It does hurt graveyard-reliant decks, and as you know, the meta is full of cards like that, so this could very well be a really useful thing for Blue Eyes to have access to, and it does stop a special summon of 2 or more monsters at a time, so I'm not entirely sure what that would do, but, you know, it blocks things like Gamma, and I'm sure there's other cards coming out that it counters as well. Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, same deal. This is a fusion monster. It's definitely really good, especially with the new fusion spell, and this is going to be something you're going to want to have. It's about $3, give or take, for the Ultra from Legendary Duelist Season 2. It has a secret rare from Shining Victories and Mega Pack, which looks nice. Given the difference in price being only about $6 versus $2 and change for the Ultra, I would say go for the secret. It's going to hold value more long-term and is a really good card, although I do see some first ed selling around $15, with other listings around $10. So shop around, see what you can find, but secret rare feels like it has the best chance to hold value and age well over time. Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, card I forgot about. This was in the movie packs. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible either. I would go for the secret for sure. Basically, it can mill a Blue Eyes Fusion monster from the extra deck if it attack a second time. It can banish itself to negate targeting of a Blue Eyes monster. It's okay. I don't know whether or not it'll be played, but it might be something to look at, and I think it's a lesser-known card that was only in those movie packs. It doesn't have another print, so food for thought there. And lastly, for Blue Eyes, the Ultimate Creature of Destruction is a really good card that makes a Blue Eyes monster unaffected by card effects and battle destruction, as well as clearing any opponent's monster that it battles. Plus, it's recurable. This is a really good card. I like the Super Rare the best from Legendary Duelist. They're very close in price. It's up to you, but I think the OG First Ed from White Dragon Abyss would be the way to go. Either way, you've got your options there. There are colored name versions of these as well, but I would just probably stick with one of the two like these. I think that'll be your best bet. And that was, yeah, the one I just had pulled up. So, moving on to DDD, Divine Zero King Rage was covered ad nauseum by some of the other Market Watch people, so I'm not going to waste a ton of time with it. I will say it's extremely limited in quantities. I know Robbie Cole bought like 400 of them. You can't even see it. It was from earlier in the week. He talked about it in a video. 498 of them for $5 each. So, I mean, he's probably sitting pretty right now if he's reselling these. I do think eventually, you know, you might see some come back on the market, but this isn't exactly the highest quantity card, so I don't know how much of the supply will really be replenished in that way. Destiny King Zero Laplace, another manga promo. I don't really know how good it is, but just worth covering. $15, and it has been selling a lot. There's only 10 listings of this available. If you're a DDD fan and you want these, they do have 2 promos that were separate manga promos and are not reprinted anywhere else, so certainly, hopefully, they'll reprint those in something just to get them more accessible, but if you want them right now, you're paying a lot. Abyssking Gilgamesh is a penny card from Dual Overload, right around 50 cents. Still a lot of listings, but, I mean, compared to some of the other Dual Overload cards, it's definitely been selling quite a bit. It is a really good card in terms of playability, and I would recommend grabbing one if you plan on playing the deck, especially because it's only $1. DDD Oblivion Ragnarok has seen some movement as a super rare. People want to play the high rarity versions. They're selling about $10 each. Play sets are really what you're going to want to go with here, and the listings are just low, so just be aware. High rarity DDD stuff is in demand. This also does have rares as well as commons, so you can pick it up pretty cheap. I don't think that'll be too big of an issue. DDD Savant Copernicus is another one that was only in the structure deck, and it's about $5 a piece. It's a good card. It mills one of your Dark Contract cards from the deck, or a DD card in general, so it's pretty good and can do a decent amount of things. I don't know whether or not the structure deck could get re-waived or anything, or reprinted, but something to consider. And DD Lamia, a tuner, so it makes needle fiber combos more accessible. It can also revive itself from grave and get rid of your Dark Contracts at the same time. Is selling and is relatively low in listings as people chase those down. And Necro Slime is a common in Dimension of Chaos. It also, I believe, has a super rare. I'm double checking on that now. No super, but it does have a star foil from Star Pack, so that's probably one people will go after. Necro Slime is that one, and then Swirl Slime does have a super, which has been bought out. But for a common, it's around $1 a piece. Maybe you have some in bulk. It's always been worth a decent amount, and I'd like to think an OTS super could be on the horizon for this. In a future reprint set. And speaking of reprint sets, just looking at Megatin Fallout Quick, True Light is up to about $5. It went up initially and then dropped and has gone back up since. I just think this is pretty telling with only 100 listings around that number. This is a really good card for Blue Eyes, even before the new support was announced, and now you can get it back, and it has a lot more going for it. So True Light is a card I would definitely say hold a play setup if you cracked open Mega Tins. You might be able to get away with waiting till more tins are waived, and then you can get these a little bit cheaper, but I would say if you get them under $5 each, definitely just have a play set handy if it's something that interests you, because I do think it's going to end up being pretty good. Speaking of Megatins, Fallout on Crossout Designator, it's down to $69, which is great to see. Hopefully it drops a little bit more as more tins are open and people see it's not short printed. I do think this card is solid. I don't think it's necessarily going to be as good here as it is in the OCG, but that's a discussion for another video. I sold mine when I pulled them for a little over 100, and you might have, people that were paying 300 on pre-sales. Definitely a good example of why you should wait. Emergency teleports up to $10, actually higher for the Ghost from the Past version, as people continue to look towards playing these cards. $13 a piece they're selling for, which is kind of insane, just considering the fact that this card does have so many prints. But it's good to see at least a little bit of value from Ghost from the Past, and E-Telly in general just isn't the most accessible card. I think it will be in Grand Creators, hopefully, so that should help that out a bit going forward. And Ghost Mourner from the tins around $5, not super bad in terms of a price. This card comes in and out of formats and isn't the most amazing card ever, but it is wind, and some of the new decks that are coming out with Synchro Strike are wind reliant or lock you into wind effects, so that could be something to consider. And yeah, it's just typically the Ghost Girl cards go up more over time, and this card only has 2 prints. It does have a Starlight, but I'm not really counting that in terms of something that the casual player is going to be able to get their hands on easily. Just be aware of the fact that you can pick these up cheap now if you anticipate wanting them later. Rescue Cat is going absolutely wild still, as usual. Just no listings available. $20 a piece, the cheapest for the commons, and $40 a piece for the ultras. I don't really know if it's just because Tri-Brigade stuff got reprinted and is more accessible, so people are going after other things. I guess you're just kind of shit out of luck. Rescue Cat really could use another print at this point. I mean, $100 on the supers, and all the commons are just up a lot. It's really the only expensive card to get into Tri-Brigade outside of Access Code Talker, and it looks like people are going to take advantage of that. And finally, Appaloosa has broken the $10 mark, around $12, give or take, for the link. I guess it's just coming back into play, but also the alternate art, maximum gold being a little bit of a year old at this point. If you want to pick this up, the alternate art, and you're interested in that, I would say maybe you might be worth grabbing it now at 10-ish, because I don't know that we'll see this alternate art again for a while, especially if they want maximum gold alters to be something that people go for and is a selling point and whatnot. So yeah, interesting to see Appaloosa up. I don't think it's seeing a ton of play right now, but it's still a really good card and one you should have. And yeah, I think all copies of it have gone up in price. So interesting enough to look at there. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here. Loveshack.